All right, how's everyone doing? Looks like we got about 30 of you guys in here. Man, the second I turned the stream on, I got really tired all of a sudden. How about that? Hey guys, how's it going? Looks like we got about 35 people in so far. All right, how's everyone doing? Let's go ahead and not have sound going through my speakers. That probably sounded kind of weird. There we go. Don't need to be listening to that. Let's get this turned off. Why is that playing back to me? I'm not sure, but it doesn't really matter because we're not really going to need any audio in this stream. Anyway, off to a rocky start, guys. I'm sorry. We had some technical difficulties. Streamlabs OBS had a little bit of an update, and when it did that, it seemed to change the way that you go live, and it messed with my workflow. And we didn't get the stream started correctly. So I hope all of you are doing well. Let's give people a little while to join. I've just done a bunch of work on the studio behind me. I know you can't see any of it, but it looks a lot better. And I just finished planning out how the back wall is going to look. We're going to be getting a new camera here in a little bit. It's going to be moving over a little bit. We're going to have the studio behind us. We're going to have some posters and shelves and all kinds of cool knickknacks on the wall. I think you guys are really going to like it. It's going to be better camera quality. We're going to have better lighting. We're going to have better backdrop. And after that, the next thing we're updating is this guy over there. Currently, if you don't know, we're rocking a blue Yeti microphone. I'm going to be updating to a Shure SM7B, but your guys surely don't care. So let's go ahead and get my big, ugly mug off of the face and moved on over to the technicals. Guys, looks like we just had a new subscriber. So let me go ahead and check who that was and give them a shout out. If I can get Streamlabs to work. Goodness, guys, Streamlabs has had a bunch of updates, and it is really throwing me off. Where are my updates? Give me just a second, guys. We're going to dive into some technical analysis here in a little bit. But I want to make sure I give credit to Smajil Alisiak. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but welcome to the channel. I just saw you subscribed. Oh, man, I hope everyone's doing well. Let's go ahead and get the stream up over here so I can see what you guys are saying. Hey, Rafa, how you doing? Rafa, how you doing? Rafa, I'm not sure. Hey, Leo. Hey, Soria. Hey, Nelson. Cyprian's son. I think that's a reference. Why shield ETH as far as transactions when EOS is dominating? Steve Beber. That's a good point. No, I'm a big fan of EOS. I've been talking about EOS for pretty much the entire history of this channel. In fact, EOS, one of the earliest videos on this channel was me comparing EOS to Ethereum and the difference between the two blockchains. And personally, I think EOS is a better project. Having a hard cap on how many EOS can be created, but at the same time, guys, Ethereum's been around for a lot longer. It has a much larger backing and has a larger market capitalization. Let's go ahead and get coin market cap up here and look at that for a second. But at the end of the day, EOS is a good project, but Ethereum's just a little bit bigger. I think they're both going to survive for a long time. I don't think either one of them are going anywhere anytime soon. Hey, Irish, how you doing? Hey, guys, Gerbil here. Hey, Gerbles. All right, so guys, one of the things I want to talk about in today's video, we're going to do a little bit of technical analysis, but I also want to talk about my phone going off. Let's go ahead and mute that real quick. That was nothing important. Okay. That's funny. All right, let me go ahead and resize this just a little bit. I'm still working on everything. Let's move the chat box up a little bit. This is probably going to look kind of trippy to you guys. Move that up just a little bit. Come on. Give me 1 second, guys. I know, professional streamer here. I am very sorry. Let's go ahead and expand this so it looks like it's in proportion. A little more. A little bit more. There you go. There we go. How does that look? That looks just fine to me. Good enough for who it's for. All right, so we have about 80 of you guys in here. Let's go ahead and run through price action. Let's go ahead and run through comments here. I'm really tired. I don't know why. I don't know, man. I think price is going to tank. I don't know. I don't know about that. And stay down for a long time. I really don't think it's going to. Yo, it's a live stream. Nice. How you doing, Norbert? Good to see you, Dave. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. One of the things I want to talk about mainly in today's video has to do with, as the title would suggest, fundamental analysis. I've got a bunch of tabs up here on stuff that I want to go over in today's live stream, and all of it has to do with the fundamentals for Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at the technicals here a little bit, but one of the biggest things I want to touch on are the fundamentals, because even in times where the technicals aren't doing a whole lot, one of the things you can always look to is the fundamentals for Bitcoin. And come to think of it, I'm missing a lot of stuff. Let me get this up on my other monitor. Now, there is going to be a little bit of repetition here of things that I've talked about in recent videos, but there's also going to be a lot of concepts that I haven't talked about much on the channel at all. Let's go ahead and get stock to flow up over here. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later. We're probably going to be going for about an hour or so, maybe 2 hours. We'll see what happens. I have to be somewhere at 7, so we shall see how that goes. Hello from Egypt, Ahmed. How you doing? Let's see. People flaming each other in the chat. Hey, guys, we're trying to have fun here. No need to do all of that. Guys, if you do enjoy the live stream, consider hitting that like button. You don't have to yet because we just got started. This is weird. It's playing on my phone but not my PC. That is strange. I'm not sure why I'd be doing that. Tell me, how is all of your days? How are all of your days going? I'd love to hear about you guys. Fundamentals bullish, PA bearish. You mean TA? I'm not sure what PA is. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and start with some technical analysis because that is one of the things that I want to get out of the way first and foremost. We can go ahead and get that done so we can start looking at some fundamentals. There's a lot that we need to cover in this live stream, guys, and I'm sorry I'm kind of low energy right now. I don't know what it is. How you doing, Jeb? I'm doing fantastic, Ahmed. I hope you are doing the same. I just finished watching the 4th episode of Stranger Things Season 3 with a friend of mine. He hasn't seen the 3rd season, so we're working through that. Give me a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen Stranger Things. Give me a 2 if you haven't. I totally recommend it. Fantastic show. You should totally do that. Anyway, I'm going to stop looking at chat here for just a second so we can go ahead and get on with some stuff because I will keep getting distracted talking to you guys. I can sit here and talk to you guys all day long. The first thing I want to talk about, guys, is the state of the market in general. As you know, Bitcoin has gone through a lot of different market cycles in its history, some of which have been very long, some of which have been very short. But in general, market cycles from Bitcoin will last anywhere between 6 months and 24 months. We saw Bitcoin rally for a very long time here in 2016 and 17. Then we saw Bitcoin pull back for a very long time here in 2018 and the first half of and the first part of 2019. And from there we rallied for about 6 months. Now we pulled back for about 6 months again. Guys, Bitcoin very rarely is going to continue just moving down forever. Now, one thing that I find really interesting about this is that Bitcoin is kind of mirroring, this market right here is kind of mirroring this one over here. We had a big run up, and then we had some correction down to some support, and then Bitcoin started falling through it. As we know, our support right now is around 7.2, but our support back in the day was around 6,000. This is one of the reasons why I think it's possible for Bitcoin to fall down to $6,000 to $5,000 right now, is because just as we did over here and fell down to support and then started building a new rally from there, a similar thing might happen over here if we fall down to, for example, the 200 weekly exponential move, the 200 weekly simple moving average that I'll go ahead and show you on the chart right now. That is the VPVR. I was messing around with my technical indicator showing someone something earlier today and messed it up. Anyway, the point I'm making is that when I say the bottom is between $5,000 and $7,000, yes, that is a wide range. By the way, yes, that is a wide range intentionally. It's hard to call exact tops and bottoms, and quite frankly, it's not a great idea to try and call exact tops and bottoms. That's why I avoid doing it for the most part, because when you're calling for an exact top or calling for an exact bottom, oftentimes you're just flat out going to be wrong. If we look down here on the daily chart, for example, we could have called this over here as a bottom because of the overextended RSI. It's coming down here to around 20 level on the daily chart RSI. But guess what? Even though we had very low RSI down here, that was not the bottom. Bitcoin traded sideways for 3 weeks. And then we bounced and rallied later from that. But that was not exactly the bottom. The bottom was a little bit lower. Same thing might be happening right now. I personally think this is a bottom for now. And Bitcoin is probably either going to prove me right or wrong in the next 48 hours. But let's go ahead and fix that. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm getting a new camera relatively soon. So let's go ahead and get that fixed. Oh, my goodness, my camera. Guys, invest in good camera equipment. It's very annoying when it doesn't do what you want it to. This is a $500 camera and it still doesn't work software side. Always use Sony, never Canon. Let's go ahead and get this fixed up. This camera is going to do this every 30 minutes, unfortunately, so we might just turn the webcam off a little bit later. But nevertheless, let me go ahead and get this fixed. Hello. It's in the middle of my rant too, and then you had to go and do that. There we go. There we go. There's my ugly face. Let's get that bounding box off. Perfect. I'm back. Anyway, as I was saying, Bitcoin could very easily be pulling back even farther than where it is now But the point is not trying to find the exact bottom. The point is trying to find out when the trend reversal happens. The point is trying to figure out when that market actually starts moving to the upside again. And as I was saying, now very well may be that case. We have our overextended RSI. We have our reversal on the daily chart MACD, just the same way as we had back here. But now we need to figure out, are we going to trade sideways and fall a little bit and then have the bounce, or are we going to have the bounce now? There's a lot of different reasons to believe this is going to happen now, and there are reasons to believe it's going to happen later. We're going to dive into all of that in today's video. Let me go ahead and read chat for just a little bit. Jeb disappeared. Yes, Jeb disappeared because Canon cameras are not the best for live streaming. I did not buy this camera for live streaming, which is why I'm going to be buying an A6400. I'm expecting a flash pump. Want to cover for a crash. Jeb's haircut is bullish. Oh, man. All right. Let's go ahead and yeet that guy. All right. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Guys. There are a lot of different technical indicators at play right now. One of the big ones that I want to talk about was the VPVR. As you guys know, the bottom for Bitcoin is probably sitting around $7,000, maybe $6,400. We've seen Bitcoin come down and test a lot of different levels in the last couple of weeks, but as we can see, one of the big ones was actually this level right in here around $7,000 and right here around $6,400. If you look back on the history of Bitcoin, then what you're going to find is that is a very important level, and Bitcoin comes down to it quite often. Bitcoin came down to $6,000 many times back in 2018, and because it did that, it established the region in between $6,000 and $6,400 as a very big level of support. Bitcoin has come down to that level multiple times, and right now is another example of that. Not only has Bitcoin come down to those VPVR levels, Bitcoin has also come down to some longer-term technical levels. On the weekly chart, for example, Bitcoin is just a little bit below the 50 simple moving average. It is also sitting below the Fibonacci level. If we were to bring out our Fibonacci retracement, then Bitcoin is sitting right here in our golden pocket. As you can see down here on the daily chart, Bitcoin is sitting right above where we would draw that golden pocket. So guys, when we talk about a Bitcoin reversal, there's a good reason to believe it'll happen now, but whether or not it happens now is completely and utterly irrelevant, to be totally honest with you. What is important are the long-term fundamentals and the long-term technicals. That's why I say on stream and on the YouTube videos that when Bitcoin is pulling back, it's a good opportunity to be buying. It's not an opportunity to be freaking out. It's not an opportunity to be getting upset. It's not an opportunity to be leaving the market or quitting on cryptocurrency. It's an opportunity to be making some money, because you have to buy before you can sell, guys. I was just showing you that golden pocket, and as you can see, when Bitcoin was retracing all the way back up to $20,000, it didn't quite get there. We reversed at the golden pocket. That's exactly where Bitcoin is right now. It's sitting around that 61 to 65% region on Bitcoin's Fibonacci retracement at the very moment. There are reasons to believe Bitcoin is going to have some kind of bounce. Many of those reasons we've already covered in video, so I'm not going to get into a bunch of them again today. I mainly want to talk about the fundamentals, but I figured we throw some technicals in here to start with. Let's go ahead and catch up on chat and see what's going on over here. Iron Man Trading said, "How are you doing, Jeb?" I am doing all right. How are you? King K said, "Hi, Jeb. How are you?" I know both of your names. Welcome back to the chat. Let's see. Bitcoin's days are numbered. I don't know about that. I don't agree with that. Jeb, if we break 5K, do you think a lower low is possible? If we break 5K, that's going to be really interesting. Bitcoin could easily go back down to 3,000 if we break 5K, but that's a very big if. And quite frankly, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's a reason to think that's going to happen for right now. I think there's a pretty good chance that Bitcoin is going to hold 5K if it even goes down there again. Like I said, there's a good chance that we hold here. If we don't, $6,000 is also a major level of support. A lot of people argue with me on that. They say, no, Jeb, $6,000 is not a big level of support. Look at how quickly we broke through it as resistance. I'd argue otherwise. Bitcoin was very bullish right here. Bitcoin had just had the April Fool's rally. Bitcoin had a lot of bullish fundamentals going on at the time. Bitcoin rallied straight through it because, guys, Bitcoin had a lot of bullish pressure. But when Bitcoin fell down to $6,000 from 20K, Bitcoin it didn't have quite as much bearish pressure because Bitcoin had already exhausted itself. It had already fallen 70%. And the same thing is happening here, guys. When Bitcoin falls down to 6K, the bears have already exhausted themselves in this move. So Bitcoin's probably going to hold at 6,000, and if not, it will probably hold at 5,000. The reason I say 5K, of course, is because of that 200 weekly simple moving average. That is coming up to give us support. It's not very far below us right now. It is sitting down here around $4,800 to $4,900. By the time we get down there, if we were to even go down there, we would likely see Bitcoin bounce at that level. If we look back on the history of Bitcoin, Bitcoin has bounced at that level every single time it has ever gone down to it. I moved my chart. Let's go ahead and go back to BLX. We saw Bitcoin come down there back over here in 2015 and earlier on this year. Every time Bitcoin has come down there, Bitcoin has managed to recover. So I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, concerned about that. In fact, I think everything's perfectly fine. Furthermore, if we look at our technical indicators here, we're going to see that the 100 daily simple moving average is curving down. The 50 daily simple moving average, both those are weekly, not daily moving averages, is curving up. And it looks like we're going to have a golden cross between those two in the next few months. If you will look back into the history of Bitcoin over in 2015 and 16, you will find that Bitcoin had the same kind of golden cross about 6 months or so into the bull market. Guess where we are right now, guys? About 6 months or so into the bull market. You see this? See where this crossed? Bitcoin popped off right there? That's exactly where we are. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to pop off to $20,000 before the halving. I'm saying that we're moving into the bull market and everything is pretty much going according to plan. There are some shorter term technicals that I would prefer to be a little bit different. For example, I would have preferred for Bitcoin to be above this 20 EMA. But quite frankly, guys, Bitcoin's trading 10,000% higher, not quite that much, but like 5,000% higher than where it started the previous bull market. Of course, some things are not going to be perfectly identical. Of course, there are going to be some changes. Everything's not going to be the same, so give it some time. Bitcoin's just fine. There's no reason to be concerned about this. That's the whole point of this live stream, because I see a lot of people getting concerned about Bitcoin when, quite frankly, there's really just not a reason to, in my opinion. Guys, it really does kind of, it concerns me how people look at Bitcoin. There are a lot of naysayers on Bitcoin, and look, I'm not saying there aren't issues with the fundamentals on Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that there aren't bearish technicals. I'm not saying that there aren't bearish things out here on the monthly chart. I know some of you guys want me to look at this, that death cross on the monthly chart. Excuse me, not death cross, the bearish cross on the MACD on the monthly chart. I realize some of you want me to look at that, but at the same time, we can all look at different technicals. Here's another technical that we can look at. Bitcoin's getting support on the 20 monthly EMA. There are a lot of different technicals we can look at. It's not just about the technicals. That's why we bring in the fundamentals. Honestly, guys, I heard a very wise person once say, I take advice from anyone because it's not even so much about who's giving the advice and what the advice is. It's about the person taking the advice. The reason for that is if you get advice and 99% of people say yes, and they tell you to do something, but 1% of people tell you no, tell you not to do something, if you want to not do that thing, you're going to listen to the 1%. So it has to do with the person taking the advice. Same thing is true for technical analysis. If you have 99 technical indicators saying bullish and one technical indicator saying bearish, you're going to listen to the bearish if you're in a short position. So you need to understand that there are more things at play than just technical analysis, and you also need to be able to look back without emotion, with a wide perspective, and be able to see the entire market for what it is. That's why technical analysis on every time frame with many different indicators is very important, so you get a full picture of what's going on. Yes, there are bearish technical indicators. Yes, this cross on the MACD on the monthly chart is not great. I get that. There are things that could be better in Bitcoin right now. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is definitely bottomed at 7K. There's a chance that it goes down to 5. In my opinion, though, guys, it's not going to go below 5. And in my opinion, guys, I think the future is looking bright, especially having to do with the halving coming up and the Bitcoin stock-to-flow ratio, which we will be discussing in a little bit. We'll get to that when we start moving on into the technicals. So let's go ahead and read chat here for a second. I want to get caught up. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and... oops. Closing lower than the last. Iron Man Trading said, look at the monthly chart, 5 candles with the wicks closing lower than the last. Till that changes, start rejecting lows. It's not moving up. I agree. Look, trends are important. As I always tell you guys, the trend is your friend right up until it ends. And guys, right now the trend is bearish. That's why we're looking at reversals on the shorter term time frames. Yes, the trend is your friend until it ends. Totally agree with you, dude. Look at this. On the monthly chart, we need to make sure we're looking at the bullish and the bearish. You want to make sure you are not looking at this through rose-tinted glasses. If you look right now, he's right. The wicks are getting lower. The wicks are getting lower. Most of those candles are red. I agree with that. I understand that. But you also need to understand You also need to understand that every trend is eventually going to end. When is this one going to end? Is it going to end now or in 6 months? That's what we're trying to figure out. Are we going to see a reversal now or later? That's what I want to know. The fundamentals mean nothing if, on the other hand, there are governments saying we're going to tame Bitcoin until it becomes no longer viable. You know, everybody says that, but what governments are actually saying that? Because when I look at the global stage and I look at geopolitics, I see China adopting Bitcoin. I see Russia moving in a cryptocurrency direction. I see Venezuela moving in a cryptocurrency direction. Quite frankly, I feel like Bitcoin is going to become a political issue in America in the next 5 years. And I think at least one of the two major political parties will be pro-Bitcoin. Everybody's saying the governments are against Bitcoin, and frankly, they have a reason to be against Bitcoin, but I just haven't seen a lot of that yet. I'd love for you to point out where I'm wrong, but I just don't see a lot of government opposition to Bitcoin. I see a lot of governments. I see the SEC I see the SEC thinking about approving Bitcoin ETFs. I see the CFTC approving Bakkt. That's one of the things we'll be talking about here in a second. I see a lot of government agencies allowing for Bitcoin to continue forward. So while governments do have a reason to be against Bitcoin, and I would like to see some evidence of that, until I do, I'm not terribly concerned about it. Excuse me. How'd you have a nice clean haircut, man? Yeah, my hair is shorter than it normally is. The way you guys saw me during the face reveal, that's how my hair is normally worn. Got to give it a few months to grow back out a little bit. My hair, when I gave you guys a face reveal, was way too long, though. But until then, I'll just rock it like this. Guys, I can't wait for a lot more of the background of the studio to be built. Those two things on the walls back there are going to be taken down. Excuse me. I'm looking at a bunch of furniture. I just ordered 3 awesome posters to put in the background today. On Black Friday, when everything goes on sale, I'm going to more than likely be buying a new camera, and I might be buying a new microphone as well. So tell me if you are interested in that. I want to get some soundproofing in here, because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a little bit more echo in here ever since I removed the guest bedroom and made this into a proper office. Michael Gordon said, big fan of the channel. I read somewhere there's a minimum price that Bitcoin must be for miners to be profitable. I know it is more complicated than this, but can you clarify? Yeah, so Michael Gordon, the idea with that is miner profitability. When people are mining Bitcoin, there are certain costs that go into that. That includes the cost per hash. That has to do with the cost of the machine itself, and then also the cost of the power. So if you're mining in Iceland, where power is very cheap and you don't need to worry about cooling those miners because of the ambient temperature outside, mining is going to be a lot cheaper. However, if you're mining somewhere in, I don't know what a bad place to mine is, maybe out in the middle of the desert, maybe in Phoenix, Arizona, call it, where power might not be quite as cheap and where it's hotter and you have to worry more about cooling, then mining is going to be less profitable. The point is that mining, depending on where you are, you can average it out to what Bitcoin needs to be trading at, where a miner can mine Bitcoin and then immediately turn around and sell Bitcoin for a profit and have their mining be profitable. The thing is that when miners leave the space, because it's unprofitable, then the miners, that drops the hash rate, it lowers the competition in the mining sector, and then it allows for that the miners that stay in there to make more money because it's easier for them to find their blocks, their hash rate is more effective, and it allows for Bitcoin to be more profitable mining. So when Bitcoin gets closer to the minimum price to make mining profitable, give it a month or so, and that price of mining is going to drop, and then it's going to go back up. It's kind of a lagging indicator almost. You might call it like a 200 daily simple moving average is right around where the mining profitability line on average would probably be. Normally, Bitcoin is going to be profitable when it's mining, although sometimes it's more profitable than others. For example, I remember back up here when Bitcoin was trading way up here, mining was ridiculously profitable because Bitcoin had just rallied so quickly. But you also have to remember some miners are not in it for short-term profits. Some miners, even in 2019, are mining Bitcoin for that long-term hodl. So there are a lot of different reasons that people are in mining, not just immediate profits. And I mean, it's not really a concern that I have about miners disappearing, because when one miner leaves, another miner becomes more profitable, and there's always mining going on in the space. Bitcoin is such a big blockchain that there's not really a security concern either. It would take hundreds of billions of dollars to do a 51% attack on Bitcoin. You could probably rig up solar miners in Arizona, though. You're right, that's something I've thought about, but if you run the math, it's normally not cost effective because of the price of solar. Is there a price right now that would make it unprofitable? I don't know off the top of my head what the price of unprofitability in mining is right now. It's probably like $5,000 to $6,000. It's not far below us, but that's pretty typical. Normally, that's where it's going to be. just a little bit below us. Are you seeing an inverse head and shoulders on the 1 hour chart? I am seeing an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 1 hour, and I'm so glad you said that because that's what we talked about in today's YouTube video. Guys, if you go over to the YouTube channel, that's what we were talking about in that video right there. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. Anyway, let's see. What else am I missing in chat? Jeb, do you have any idea what maybe Bitcoin will be doing in a few months with your charts? Thanks, buddy. Victorian Violet, until the halving, which is this vertical line right here, I've got a feeling that Bitcoin is more than likely going to be trading somewhere in between the range of $7,000 and $14,000. The reason I say that is because of the stock to flow chart, which we will be getting to relatively soon. As you guys probably know, Bitcoin follows the stock to flow chart quite seriously. If you guys don't know what stock to flow is, it's a ratio between the amount of Bitcoin being produced every day and the amount of Bitcoin currently in circulation. So every time there's a halving, the stock to flow prediction for what Bitcoin should be trading at increases pretty quickly. And as you can see, just a few years from now, stock to flow predicts Bitcoin trading around $100,000. And as you can see from the history of Bitcoin and its stock to flow predictions, Bitcoin normally respects those predictions. And it normally respects them for a good reason, because it's a very good metric of investment and the deserved market capitalization of a certain asset. And this is one of those that you need to be looking at, is stock to flow. If you guys don't know what stock to flow is, we've done a lot of videos on it. I want to do some more, but it's something that you should definitely research into. It's very important. It's so important that I may be making a video for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy on it in the future. By the way, if you aren't already, there is a Black Friday sale running on that coupon in the description. I'm going to have to go get some water soon. Man, my throat is very dry. But when the halving comes, or more halvings, then it'll be unprofitable for nobody, and nobody will do the transactions. So RTC Manga, Old Face, by the way, you've been here for a long time. Welcome back to the live stream. Mining has always been one of those things that adjusts to the price action of Bitcoin, and mining becomes profitable or unprofitable based on the short-term swings in the market. What I mean by that is that when Bitcoin mining becomes unprofitable, people stop mining. And when people stop mining, the competition goes down. The demand doesn't change, though. So when the competition goes down, the people that stay in the pool and stay mining and continue mining Bitcoin, those people become more profitable. And as more people leave the mining space, the ones that are left over become more profitable. It's a self-regulating system. It's really beautiful, to be honest. It's because it works because mining is built off of an auction-based system for the transaction that get added to the pool. But that's something that's been considered on Bitcoin for a very long time, is what happens when Bitcoin has gone through so many halvings that it's just not profitable for miners anymore, even for the really, really hardcore miners that stick around forever. And the idea is that Bitcoin fees will rise to accept that, because eventually there's not going to be any more Bitcoin. The last halving and the last Bitcoin will be mined in around 2140, and honestly, in like 20 years, not much more Bitcoin is going to be mined. 21 million Bitcoin will ever exist. There's only 3 million left to mine. Most of the mining that's ever going to happen has happened, which that's one of the reasons that Bitcoin price gets moved to the upside, is because when you have a halving, less Bitcoin is mined. So that means that the Bitcoin that is mined is more scarce, and because it's more scarce, it drives up the stock to flow ratio, and the stock to flow ratio has a very high contribution and correlation with the price action of Bitcoin. All these things work together, and that's what I'm trying to convey in this video, is that it's not just about price action, it's not just about technicals, it's about the longer term fundamentals as well. And it's important to understand that the longer term fundamentals are looking good on Bitcoin because they were designed to look good on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been designed to be a deflationary currency that allows for an increasing price of the currency as it becomes more scarce. As Bitcoin gets lost, it becomes harder to come by Bitcoin, which drives the price up. As more halvings happen, less Bitcoin is added every day into the ecosystem, which drives up the stock to flow ratio, which increases the demand for Bitcoin. Everything has been programmed into Bitcoin to make it an appreciating asset. It is designed to increase in price action, and that's one of the things that a lot of people forget, is that the only thing driving Bitcoin is not its adoption, is not its institutional interest. It's its very design. It's designed to be a currency that will increase in price until it's to a price where the early adopters are rewarded, but also to where it can eventually stabilize. So that's what you need to keep in mind. Jeb, if Bitcoins are no more to mine, how will fees be paid in fiat? The fees are paid in Bitcoin, David. So when you transact in Bitcoin, you use a certain percentage of that, well, not percentage, excuse me, it's flat, a certain Bitcoin fee to make sure that your transaction gets mined earlier than it would have otherwise. If there's less transactions in the block in the mempool than can fit into one transaction, then all the transactions will go through. But if there's only, let's say, 5,000 transactions that can fit into a block, and there's 15,000 transactions waiting, then the transaction with the highest fee will be picked by the miner because the miner wants to make the most money. It's an auction-based system, so fees aren't actually mandatory. Some people forget that. Hey, do you think Bitcoin halving is priced in? I don't think Bitcoin halving is priced in, and the reason is because of how Bitcoin has reacted in the past. If we look over here at the chart, what you'll see is that a lot of the price action for Bitcoin rallying, having to do with the stock-to-flow ratio, actually happened maybe 6 months to a year after the price that it was predicting, which means that maybe $100,000 won't be happening halfway through 2021. Maybe it'll be happening later on in 2022, which gives us a long time for us to rally. Let's see. Does that pre-mine centralized coins like XRP will go to zero? No, I don't think XRP is going to go to zero. A lot of people have problems with XRP, and quite frankly, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite project, but at the same time, you have to understand Ripple. I almost got that mixed up with the Ethereum Foundation. Ripple has a lot of products that have a very, very large market. I mean, Ripple deals with banks and international bank transfers. That's a huge market and a very valuable one. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. And XRP is, even if it's only loosely attached to that, which it is only loosely attached to that business, is still attached to it. There's products like XRapid and XVIA, etc. Some of those products can use Ripple, some of them can't. By Ripple, I mean XRP, excuse me, the currency, the cryptocurrency. But the point is, it is still attached. Whether or not it's even a security is something that a lot of people have to deal with. The point I'm trying to make here is that XRP, I don't think is going to zero now. Are you seeing an H and A? I don't see an H and A, but I do see an H and S, an inverse head and shoulders pattern. If you guys remember, I was talking about that a second ago. We actually talked about the inverse head and shoulders pattern in today's YouTube video. That was right over here. So if you haven't seen that already, I do recommend you checking that out. I absolutely see it. I was talking about it in the Discord server, in the first cohort server earlier today. If you guys are not in the first cohort, we've got a big community growing over there. I'd love to see you over there. In a few weeks, when that grows a little bit bigger, in a few weeks when the first cohort gets a little bit bigger, we're going to start doing private live streams over there. So if you want to be part of private live streams and even some games that we're playing, a lot of short-term, not a lot of short-term, a lot of analysis that we're doing with each other, a lot of community fun, check out the first cohort down below. Goodness, I'm going to have to go get some water soon, guys. My throat is very dry and scratchy. Let's see if there are any really great questions here. Let's see. I don't believe BTC was intended to have institutions. I think the person who created Bitcoin, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, whoever they were, I guarantee you they understood that if Bitcoin was going to become the global currency that Bitcoin was designed to become, that of course the institutions were going to get involved. I mean, we're going to be talking about some of those institutions here pretty soon, like Bakkt, and why they're so important. But you need to understand something, that the institutions are the way that the masses are going to get into cryptocurrency. The masses are not going to be using Exodus Wallet, I don't think. A lot of people investing in Bitcoin are not investing in Bitcoin yet because they can't go on the New York Stock Exchange and buy Bitcoin stock. I mean, I've heard people call it that, Bitcoin stock. A lot of the people that would probably invest in Bitcoin haven't yet because they don't want to go and make a cryptocurrency exchange account because they're not familiar with it, because it seems sketchy, because they don't know what it is. And quite frankly, guys, how would they know what it is? Bitcoin has a pretty terrible history of marketing things. Hey, Jackie. Bitcoin, there's a lot of people that know about Bitcoin, but there's not a lot of people that actually know what Bitcoin is, and those are two very different things. Jeff, if we come down and hold 4 to 5K, do you think it's macro upside from that moment on? If Bitcoin hits $5,000, then I don't think it's going to be instant, but I think it's definitely going to be a bottom. Like I said, I don't think Bitcoin's going below that. Excuse me. Hey, Jeb. I'm a single parent on a very sparse income, but I know how that is. Do you think investing $30 a month into Bitcoin is wiser than other investment options? I'm just looking for personal options. I'd appreciate everyone's options and input. Sunshine Day. Now, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I would recommend you consult one, or someone that knows more, someone that knows a financial advisor, because financial advisors can be expensive. Make sure you don't just take my opinion on this, but yeah, I think it would be a good idea. I don't know how much $30 a month is to you. I don't know how much money you make, and that's none of our business, so don't tell us. But I know when I was growing up, $30 a month was a lot of money. But at the same time, when I was growing up, even though $30 a month was a lot of money, there was $30 worth of waste that could have been cut out from our budget. And if we had have cut out $30 worth of waste from the budget and started investing in Bitcoin when I got into cryptocurrency, when Bitcoin was at $2,900, I probably would have gotten out of the situation I was in a little bit faster. So I think it's a good idea, but that depends very heavily on your own situation. And I wish you the best, but I think it's a good idea if you can afford it. If you say, okay, I spend $30 a month on Starbucks coffee, then yeah, cut it out and then start doing that. That'd be a good use of money in my opinion. But if you need $30 a month to put food on the table, then it might not be a good idea. As I always say, it's a good thing to make sure you're only investing the money that you can afford to lose. You don't want to be investing money that should be going to rent or bills. You can't go wrong with XRP, VeChain, 88, yeah. Yeah, Victor Matos, that's something I just talked about, was the 50 and the 100. I talked about that about 15 minutes ago. Bitcoin's moving averages out here on the weekly chart just crossed bullish a little while ago. Just crossed bullish a little while ago. I'm a little bit out of it, guys. Bitcoin's moving averages of 50. It looks like it's about to cross the 100. The last time that happened was back over here at the beginning of the 2016 bull market in May of 2016. Bitcoin from there definitely had a very major rally, and a very similar thing could be happening when those two cross. Someone said, is Bitcoin oversold? Bitcoin is most definitely oversold on the shorter term time frames. If you look the the daily chart, RSI is sitting below 30. That's a big reversal signal, especially with how fast we've come down. That indicates Bitcoin's either going to trade sideways for a little while or Bitcoin is going to have some kind of correction. Guys, I'm going to be right back in about 30 to 45 seconds. I'm going to run and grab a bottle of water. My throat is killing me. I will be right back. Goodness. Oh no, I was muted. Thank you, whoever said that. Got it. Sorry about that. Yes, I am a fast talker and I do need some water. You're absolutely right. I cut out my manicures. There you go. That's a way to get 30 bucks a month. For just $1 a day, you can pay for your future with Bitcoin. There's the sales pitch. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and do just a little bit more shorter term stuff, and then we'll dive on into the fundamentals, because I have, like I said, a lot of tabs up here I want to look at, and I think you need to see all of them, so we'll look at those. But guys, one thing I want to point out before that is that Bitcoin is moving a little bit. Bitcoin's trading around 71.45. Not a crazy amount of movement, but something you might want to look at. Bitcoin is in this bull flag today, and there is a good chance that Bitcoin breaks bullish out of this. This could break either way, but no matter which way it breaks, there is a trade to be made here, either a short or a long. Just keep an eye on that. If you're looking to make a trade, there probably will be a good trading opportunity today at some point. So keep an eye out on that. No sound, no sound, no sound, no sound, no sound. Everybody said there's no sound. Do you think for Bitcoin to bottom, a longer period of low volatility is needed? Not necessarily, guys, because a lot of times what you'll see when Bitcoin bottoms out, or when any market bottoms out, is it moves in like a V formation. Like I said, Bitcoin will just bounce off of itself, and it'll bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and everything. A similar thing happened down here. Bitcoin bounced, and then it did trade sideways for a little while, but in general, it started moving to the upside. Something like that is very possible. Give me just 1 second, guys. Gotta scratch my eye, and I don't think you guys want to see me scratching my eye. Can hear you now? Yes, you're pushing up now. Yeah, there we go. Guys, by the way, if you're enjoying the live stream, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps out the stream when you do that. I'd love to see some more likes. Someone asked, off topic, have you ever built a PC? The PC that I'm streaming on, I built a little over a year ago. It's got a 1070 in it and a 2600. And it's about to have a 3 terabyte Western Digital Blue HDD in it because I'm running out of space. I just deleted 60 gigabytes worth of games off of Steam. I didn't realize I had so many. Anyway, that is very much off topic, so let's go ahead and get back on into it, guys. Before we do, though, I do want to mention to you guys that we are running the sale on CT2A. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys are in CT2A and like it. I know there's a lot of you that watch the streams that are in the Academy. And like I said, we are running a sale on it right now until through Black Friday. So if you guys are interested in learning about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical analysis, this is a great place to do it. There's a lot of you guys in here that are in CT2A and can stand by it. If you are, I'd love to hear from you. Guys, I believe in this product. I believe it will help you with learning how to do technical analysis. Everything you just saw me do, where I know how to do technical analysis, it is in this academy. I put hundreds of hours into making this. I put thousands of hours into researching it. I've been working on this academy for a long time, and now that the first cohort is launched, I'm going to start going back through and revamping some of these videos. All those ones you just saw in chat, those are people who are in the academy and who like the academy. So if you guys want, you can join the Discord server down below and talk to some of our students that are in there and see what they have to think about it. There's a $40 off coupon code down below. Anyway, getting back on into it, let me close my door because Jackie is doing a bark, and it would be much easier to focus were I not having to listen to that. Nevertheless, guys, let's go ahead and dive on into some fundamentals. There are a lot of different things that I want to talk about here. One of them has to do with Bakkt. As you guys know, we've been looking at Bakkt for quite some time now, and it is launched. We saw it launched several weeks ago, well, about 2 months ago. It launched right back up over here, and then immediately Bitcoin jumped off the metaphorical cliff, because that's how Bitcoin works. You know, you have something happen, and then Bitcoin jumps off the cliff. Nevertheless, Bakkt has launched, and from there, we have seen the volume continue to increase. There were a lot of bearish, funny news stories about Bakkt when it came out, talking about how, oh, Bakkt only has 40 Bitcoin worth of volume. Bitcoin only has 100 Bitcoin worth of volume. And you're right, Bakkt did not have a lot of volume when it launched. But at the same time, that is growing very quickly. Right now, there's 1,700 contracts on Bakkt. I don't know if you guys can see that, so let me go ahead and switch over. You guys see this? 1,700 contracts worth of Bitcoin. See, we're in the old style of YouTube where you don't have my face up here. We're looking at 1,700 contracts worth of Bitcoin. That's not a ridiculous amount of volume. Don't get me wrong. 1,700 times whatever Bitcoin's price is right now is like, what, $1.7 million? That's not a lot of money. Not even that. It's like $1.2 million. I can't do math off the top of my head. It's not a lot of volume. But you have to understand, Bakkt has been out for 2 months, and it's an entirely new ecosystem that we're in here of institutions trading Bitcoin. It's a big deal that this even so much as exists. Something someone was talking about relatively recently was the concept of getting really upset about the short term not working and then making sure you're focusing on the long term. So instead of worrying about what's happened in the last 2 months with Bakkt, think about what's going to happen in the next 2 years with Bakkt. If we've seen contracts grow from 40 all the way up to 1,700, if you extrapolate that out, where does that put us a year from now or 2 years from now? Maybe 10,000, 20,000 Bitcoin worth of trading volume a year or two from now. And that's starting to get on up there in significance. And also remember, one of the big deals about Bakkt is not the actual trading itself. It's about all the people that are trading Bitcoin on Bakkt that otherwise would not have been in the cryptocurrency market, bringing new volume in, bringing new faces in. Bakkt works with ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange. It's made by ICE, whose partner is the New York Stock Exchange. ICE owns Bakkt and NYSE. It's a big deal fundamentally. It doesn't have so much to do with price action. It has to do with this number right here. It has to do with the fact that Bitcoin is trading with 1,700 Bitcoin. That Bakkt is trading with 1,700 Bitcoin when just 2 months ago it wasn't trading with hardly anything. So please do keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and read chat here. So one of the first things I want to bring up to you guys is the fundamental that is Bakkt. Bakkt has not been out for very long. Bakkt is, however, a step in the right direction, and it's something that you want to pay attention to. The institutions have been increasing their interest on Bakkt. All-time high on volume for Bakkt is 2,700 contracts. That's pretty good. The traded contracts are looking at $20 million. It's not just Bakkt. And also, guys, that's something else we're going to be talking about here in a second, is TD Ameritrade. Bakkt is the first, but it will not be the last. There are going to be far more institutions building platforms for Bitcoin trading. This is not going to be one of the last times that you see an institution getting into cryptocurrency. There's going to be a lot more. So understand, Bakkt is the first of many, and Bakkt is a trendsetter. It's a precedent setter. It's a big deal for that reason, if not for many others. Jeb, Best Buy has a Black Friday sale for Western Digital Elements, 12 terabytes for $180. Goodness gracious. 12 terabytes. Wow. Huh. Okay, I might get one of those. I don't know if I would ever use 12 terabytes, but it might be useful to have. You never know. You never know. Give me 1 second. Oh, had to sneeze there, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, trading futures and contracts against Bitcoin could be a manipulative tool to the price action of Bitcoin, could it not? It could be, but the fact is that Bakkt is a well-regulated exchange. So unless that was being done by the regulator themselves, which, quite frankly, the regulators of Bakkt don't care that much because it's not their job to care, it wouldn't make that much sense. Bitcoin itself is the Wild West, but Bakkt is well-regulated. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of manipulation on Bakkt. It's its own market. It's not a derivative. It's physically backed, pun intended. I don't see that being a big issue. We did just have a donation. Roger Adcock, welcome, has donated $5. Thank you so much. He said, check out Credit's blockchain. They're fast, very fast. They're doing their own token swap on December 20th. Soon to be their fastest blockchain on the market. I am familiar with Credit's, if only on surface level. I didn't know they were having a token swap on December 20th, but I will definitely make sure to check them out. Moonlight said, all respect for Jeb and your work, but the people who are into the course of Jeb, can you recommend it? Guys, feel free to tell them your honest opinion. Moonlight, if you want, you can join the Discord server down below, our free Discord server, and talk to some of our students in the DMs so you can be confident that you're getting their honest opinions. Because, of course, this is a live stream. My supporters are going to be in here, so that's what they're going to say. If you want someone's honest take, you can join the Discord server down below and see what they have to say. I will say this, there's a 14-day money-back refund guarantee. If you don't like C22A, shoot me an email, I'll give you your money back. Simple as that. Yes, but it's Bakkt physically holding Bitcoin. Heard it will start cash settled soon. Any thoughts about that? I haven't heard about that. If they have, that'd be interesting. But whether or not it's cash settled or physically settled, the point is that it is physically backed. Bakkt does have a warehouse in the state of New York, and they do actually hold the Bitcoin. They do actually have Bitcoin to back up what's going on in the books. It's not just them saying, "Oh, this is how much." They're not doing. Oh wow, the term just fractional reserve lending. They're not fractionally reserve lending your Bitcoin. They are doing that. I took the course and I recommend it. It's one of the best for the money. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, like I said, we're sitting. There are. Let me check. I'm gonna do it on the other screen. I want to say there's 974 members in C22A right now. Over the course of the history of the Academy, we've had about 10 refunds. Every time someone wants a refund, I ask them, sure, here's your money back. I've already sent it. But by the way, out of curiosity, why did you want the refund? Did it have anything to do with our product? Is there anything we can do better for our students in the future? And literally every single one of them tell me, Jeb, it didn't have anything to do with the product. It had to do with me just not having time, or me not wanting to devote the time, or me not wanting to spend the money on that right now. It wasn't to do with the product. I've never had someone say, Jeb, this product sucks. Quite frankly, it's not up to my standards. I want my money back. I've never had someone say that. And honestly, I'm pretty happy about that because we've had the course out for over a year now. 975 enrolled. Actually, I think someone just enrolled. So I was 900. Yeah, okay. Actually, someone just enrolled 4 minutes ago. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the academy. I'm not. Tell me in the chat, Nick. I know you're in this live stream. I have a feeling you've joined because of this. Tell us in the chat who you are because we just had someone join. Roger said, hey, Jed, keep up the good work. You put up some great content. Thank you. Thank you, Roger, for the donation. I really appreciate that, guys. Look, every dollar helps here because this is a business, and we do have employees. I have myself and Taylor. Both of us are W-2 employees of the company that owns and runs the Crypto Jeff YouTube channel. Of course, I'm the business owner, but both of us draw a paycheck because the IRS says I have to. It does take money to run this channel. It does take money to upgrade the studio and camera equipment and pay Taylor and everything. So it does really help when you do that. I love that you guys want to actually help the channel. Thank you so much for that. We're going to be looking at some more fundamental analysis here in just a second, but I want to go ahead and read chat for a second. Make sure you guys are feeling the love. Make sure you guys are getting some attention. Flecky Game said, hey, Jeb, just joined the live stream. Haven't watched this morning video, but do you recommend buying this dip? In this morning's video, we were talking about how Bitcoin is currently sitting in a bull flag and how an inverse head and shoulders pattern appears to be forming. There is most definitely a reason to be looking at longing this market right now. I would tentatively be in a position right now, but honestly, guys, Bitcoin, if Bitcoin is going to start moving to the upside, that is counter to the current trend that is bearish. So what that means is that I'd really be calling the bottom right now if I were to be in a trade. There is a good reason to be in a trade right now. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to rally. I do believe that Bitcoin's going to have a bounce here. If not now, then later in the next week or two, Bitcoin's probably going to bounce somewhere above $6,000. But whether or not it does it today is up for debate. Like I said, if you are long right now, you're betting against a longer-term trend, and that can be very lucrative, but it can also be very risky. If you're long right now, I would encourage you to have a tight stop loss and to make sure you have your plan, make sure you have your trade planned out. If you guys are in the first cohort, over here, a bunch of people over here already. We got everybody on over here. Let's see how that looks on stream. Looks great. Perfect. Over here in the first cohort, we have these different tabs, and in those tabs I talk about certain things you want to do before you trade. I show you guys certain wisdom in cryptocurrency. The link to the first cohort is also down below. If you guys are in CT2A, you will get an instant rebate on with Bitcoin for your first $25 a month subscription. Just go ahead and shoot me an email and we'll do that. The Kato Lee said, hey Jeb, great channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. X-Wing XRP5 said, hey Jeb, you rock, bruv. Thank you so much, bruv. Moonlight said, Jeb, I see you're all into this crypto business, but what do you like to do in your life? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I play the violin and the piano every once in a while. The piano more because I don't have to bust it out. It's just kind of sitting there in my living room. I like to ride my motorcycle. I was thinking about either riding my bike or doing a live stream. I decided to do the live stream because I haven't connected with you guys one-on-one recently. I like to play pool. I have a pool set up. Everywhere I go in the back of my truck, I have a pool cue. So if I ever feel like going and shooting some pool, I can do that. McLovin, the Irish R&B singer, an old face to the channel, said, coffee, Jed, you're absolutely right. I had my 3 cups of coffee today. So those are the things I like to do. I like hanging out with friends and socializing. I have a friend of mine who's been living with me for a couple of weeks now. They get an apartment on January the 1st where they're hanging out. So I've been hanging out with them a little bit. Flaky Games just donated $5. Said, also, as always, want to help your channel. Thank you so much, Flaky Games. You've donated several times. I really appreciate that, guys. Like I said, it's not even about the money. It's about the support. It's about the care and the love. I love the community we're building, and I want to see it get bigger, and the way that we do that is monetarily. Things cost money. Things cost time. I have the same number of hours as you guys do in the day, but what CT2A and the first cohort do is they allow me to continue building out the channel. They allow me to give Taylor her paycheck so that we can continue making videos every single day. By the way, guys, if you check the links in the description down below, we just added several affiliate links down there. Those affiliate links, when you sign up, they will help to support me and the channel here and the business. And a lot of them will also give you money back. So if you check the description down below, you might see a product that you've been wanting. If you click that link, it will probably give you some money, and it'll also help to support this channel at no cost to your own. So if you want to support the channel, if you're about to make a Binance account, or if you're going to sign up for Coinbase, sign up for TradingView Pro, if you want to get the VPVR up, then you're going to need TradingView Pro. If you use those affiliate links down below, it'll be supporting the channel while also helping yourself. Let's see, I want to catch up with Chad. Sunshine Day said I put CT2A on my Christmas list. Well, good. I made the let's see. Whether to buy depends on your situation, the money you want to invest. I would not go all in at one time. Yeah, that's one thing that you guys got to realize. One thing that you can do is over on Coinbase, there's a feature where you can set it to buy Bitcoin every single day or once a week on the day that you set it, once a month on the day that you set it. It's very easy to set up a dollar cost average for $100 a week or $30 a week or $10 a week or whatever. Over on Coinbase, set it, forget it, come back in 5 years, and boom, you got a bunch of Bitcoin sitting in your Coinbase account and you didn't even notice because you set it to a low number. You need to understand there are things that you can do besides trading Bitcoin to make money in the cryptocurrency market. Long-term investing and hodling is one of those. What are you doing on Thanksgiving, Jeb? I'm going to be with my family on Thanksgiving. That's what I'm going to be doing. Prestige said, been meaning to join for a while. Watch your videos daily. We'll be joining next, the first cohort ASAP. Prestige, I don't know whether or not you're in CT2A. If you are, shoot me an email and we'll go ahead and rebate you the first month's fee. I would love to do that for you. That's one of the perks of being in CT2A is you get an instant rebate on that. Someone said 1. Have you ever thought about moving to another place for taxation purposes? No, because quite frankly, I'd rather make a lot more money and then not have to worry so much about taxes and stay in my hometown because, guys, I drive around my hometown, Gainesville, Florida, all the time, and I see this. Everywhere I go, there's a memory of something I've done there because this is my home. And I don't want to leave that. I don't want to lose that, especially just for the purposes of money. Guys, money isn't everything. You're still working at Barnes & Noble's, right? No. That was a temporary position 2 years ago. I said that in the face reveal video. I worked there. I probably made less than $1,000 working there. I worked there for 2 months. It was called the rush shift because at the beginning of the school year, everybody has to go get their books, and when you go and get your books, Barnes & Noble Santa Fe does like $1 million in revenue a day for 2 or 3 days because everybody's buying their books. I just worked there for a little while right when the channel was getting started. Now I work on, I make money off of trading in the YouTube channel. Let me go ahead and do this. What exchange do you prefer for leverage? Bybit's a great option. Binance is always a good option. Coinbase is a good option. All of those are good options. Do I mine? No, I don't. I used to do cloud mining, and then I realized that's kind of sketchy. I don't want to put my money into that, so I don't do it anymore. Anyway, I think I've caught up with everything. I think I have indeed caught up with everything, so let's go ahead and keep going. As I mentioned a little while ago, guys, Backed is a big deal. Backed is the first step in the right direction. Backed is going to be the future. I mean, honestly, cryptocurrency exchanges, I love them. But at the same time, you need to understand that a lot of the money in cryptocurrency is going to come from the masses and it's going to come from the institutions. Two groups that are, for the most part, not in cryptocurrency just yet. It's going to be platforms like Backed and what we're about to talk about with TD Ameritrade's ErisX. It's going to be these platforms that allow for people to move into the cryptocurrency space and confidently invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies when they don't know what they are. The issue we have is an awareness problem. It's an advertising problem. People just don't know about Bitcoin, and the people that do don't know anything about it. They think, oh, it's that thing for the dark web, right? No, it's not. And that's not their fault. They haven't been educated. They haven't been told. They haven't learned. It's no one's fault. It's just the way it is. Will you be doing a Thanksgiving video? Pablo, I do a video every single day. I don't care what the holiday is. I'll be doing a video on Christmas Day. I do a video every day, no matter what. The last time I didn't do a video was the day after my motorcycle accident, and I physically couldn't because my wrists were sprained. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this. This is going to be a little bit more brief because this is not out just yet. Announcing an investment in ErisX, a regulated exchange for cryptocurrency trading. This is not a news article. This is not something that's breaking right now. I just want to make that clear. This is on TD Ameritrade's website. They've been working on this platform, ErisX, for a while. As far as I'm aware, it's not out just yet. But essentially what it's going to be is a cryptocurrency trading platform backed by TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade has, I want to say, over $1 trillion under management. Let me check. Ameritrade. Let's check their Wikipedia page. So Wikipedia reports that. I want to say TD Ameritrade has over... Total equity, where's their under management? Okay, well, it's not going to tell me under management, but they have at least tens or hundreds. As of September 30th, 2018, Ameritrade had, yeah, that's where I'm getting that number. As of September 30th, 2018, Ameritrade had 11 million funded clients accounts and client assets of $1.3 trillion. That's a big deal. That's another major institution stepping into the cryptocurrency space. come on, guys. I don't understand how people cannot be bullish on the future. If Bitcoin was... I'm going to lean back in my chair because I'm getting so happy about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin could have gone to $20,000 back in the day when there just wasn't that many bullish fundamentals as there are now, why could we think that it's not going to again? Bitcoin went up here based off of hype, absolutely. But part of that run had to do with fundamentals. Part of that run had to do with adoption. Part of that run had to do with factors that are still in play right now, like the progressing of the technology that we're trading. Tom M said, "Hey Jed, thanks for what you do. What is your opinion on good exit strategy in the top of the next bull run? Just hodl through. Need to be careful calling tops and bottoms. Right now, I'd be dollar cost averaging in, and then you can dollar cost average out at the exit. That's what I would look for. Look for when Bitcoin's overextended on the RSI, and honestly, make sure you're always holding some Bitcoin because the next top is probably always going to be higher than the one before it. No back and the rest are bad for Bitcoin. The people Satoshi created Bitcoin for know about Bitcoin. The poor countries know a lot about Bitcoin. All we need is word of mouth. Paper Bitcoin cannot be good for Bitcoin. Well, one, backed is not paper Bitcoin. It is traded on... It is physically backed. And look, Satoshi understood. Whoever Satoshi is, was, wherever Satoshi might be, Satoshi knew that the institutions were going to get involved with Bitcoin. Everyone knew it was going to happen. It's not a surprise. If something is going to get this big and do what Bitcoin was set out to do, of course the institutions are going to step in. Of course people are going to have to go through institutional frameworks. I don't think it's a bad thing for Bitcoin. I think it's just a growing pain. And frankly, I don't even think it's a pain. I think it's just a part of the growing of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The IRS and the CFTC and the SEC, they're all going to get involved in Bitcoin. And it's going to be either good or bad, but nevertheless, I think Bitcoin is going to triumph and is going to move through it. One of the other fundamentals I want to talk about is this. My water bottle. One of the next things I want to talk about here, guys, is the Lightning Network. A lot of people forget about this. Back in 2016 and 2017, mainly in 2017, another drink of my water, wow. My throat is very scratchy. Back in 2017, Bitcoin had a big, big issue. And that was that the transactions were getting backlogged. It was that the mempool was getting full. There were 200 to 300,000 unconfirmed transactions because Bitcoin just didn't have the throughput to deal with all of it, which meant that fees went up to $50 a transaction. It was crazy. And it's a big issue. I was talking about the hard fork on Ethereum coming up, the Istanbul update, and how Bitcoin is lagging behind Ethereum and some of the other major cryptocurrencies in transaction throughput. That's a big problem with Bitcoin. It's one of the things that slowed down Bitcoin in 2017. It's one of the things that stopped Bitcoin from rallying back to that all-time high as quickly as possible. There's a lot of things that have been done to combat that. SegWit's been implemented. But Lightning Network is one of those implementations that's also going to be a big deal. As you can see on this website, it's exploreacinq.co, or you can just look up Lightning Network Explorer. You can see all the different nodes. There are currently 4,700 of them. Let me see if you guys can see this on stream. That is Ledger. I don't need a Ledger open right now. Let's go ahead and close that. Hang on one second. We're going to go to be right back. No, it popped up on my second monitor, so we're all good. Anyway, on full screen here, you can see there are currently 4,700 nodes for Bitcoin, 30,000 channels. I don't know if you guys know how Lightning Network works, but it's essentially, well, it's a gigantic network. It's kind of like the internet where you have different nodes and then different channels. Each of those nodes has a certain amount of Bitcoin in it, and it provides a lot more liquidity in the market. It allows for smaller transactions to move through the Lightning Network very quickly without actually having to be mined on the network itself, because what the Bitcoin that's sitting in those transactions, it's not important. The point is that it accelerates Bitcoin transactions. It's a layer 2 solution to the scalability issue that Bitcoin has had for a long time, and is continuing to grow. Both of these numbers have been continuing to climb for a very long time. Lightning Network is still being worked on, and the future for this is looking relatively good. It seems like it's moving in the right direction. And guys, like I said, the scalability issue on Bitcoin is one of the biggest issues that our favorite cryptocurrency has, and it's one of those that we're going to need to be keeping an eye on moving on into the next bull market, because I don't know about you, I don't want to be spending $45 for Bitcoin transaction fees anymore. That sucked. Give me a 1 in the chat if you were in the cryptocurrency market in quarter 4 of 2017, and you remember dealing with that. It was a pain. It really was. Especially when I was moving like $200 worth of Bitcoin, and I had to pay a fifth of that. I only did it like once because it was ridiculous. It was so stupid. Someone said the 1 minute chart. Let's look down at the 1 minute chart because we are having a little bit of movement. Yeah. Oops. The more the media talks of Bitcoin death, the more a dollar cost average. Absolutely, Les. Les, I hope you're enjoying the first cohort, by the way. You're one of the first people to join. Guys, like I said, there is a sale running on CT2A right now. If you are interested in joining, the link is down below. There's a $40 off coupon code right now, and you guys, I know you're going to get a lot of value out of it. All of our students love it. I'd love to see you guys over there. One that was bad. Yeah, you guys remember that. I see all those ones popping up in chat. That sucked. I remember that. That was bad. I was back, but like I said, that was back before SegWit was implemented. I was back when Lightning Network was still just experimental. Lightning Network is still experimental. So too is Bitcoin, of course. But the future is looking a lot brighter than it ever has. Oh, man. Guys, we've been going for a little while. Let's talk about one last thing, and then we're probably going to wrap the stream up. We're closer than we ever have been to Bitcoin ETF approval, says Bitwise head of research. Now, understand something. A Bitcoin ETF is a big deal. I've been talking about it for a long time. Nick Merton was one of the people that got a lot of coverage brought to it in the early days, back like 2 years ago, over at DataDash. This article came out about a month and a half ago. Bitcoin ETFs are not the be-all and end-all of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency development. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it is still important. And guys, a Bitcoin ETF is more than likely coming. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. Quite frankly, it doesn't really matter when it's going to come. The fact that it's coming is a big deal. Because like I said, the future for Bitcoin is going to be through the institutions. It's going to be through regulatory frameworks. It's going to be through mass adoption. It's going to be through these kind of mediums that are already in position, but they need to adopt Bitcoin. A Bitcoin ETF is going to be a big deal when it comes out. And I think you guys are going to see that when it happens. Because when it happens, there's probably going to be a pretty big jump in price action. But even if there isn't, the long-term ramifications of that are going to far outweigh any of the shorter-term moves that announcement will have made. We've been looking forward to it for 2 years now, and it's more than likely going to happen. Bitcoin better than gold? I think so. The next 10 years are going to be great, guys. There's a lot of money to be made here. I really believe that. I wouldn't be doing videos on the CryptoJeb YouTube channel every day if I didn't believe that. I believe in the future of Bitcoin. I've researched and studied these markets every single day for 2.5 years. I don't see a reason to be scared or skeptical about the future of Bitcoin. But guys, my camera just turned off. Let's fix that one last time, then we're going to wrap the stream up. This time, about 2 weeks from now, we are probably going to have a new camera. But guys, the camera we're going to be getting is a relatively expensive piece of equipment, so if you would like to help fund that, there are a few ways that you can do it. You can use the donation button down below, but you can also join the first cohort or the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, which is linked in the description down below. If you're interested also, you can use one of the affiliate links down below. Many of those affiliate links will give you a kickback, making you some money, but you'll also be helping to support the channel for no cost to yourself. By the way, if you use the Binance link down below, 5% of all your trading fees, excuse me, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. 5% of all your trading fees, which can actually add up to be quite a substantial chunk of change, will be refunded back to you because you use my referral link. So if you use the Binance link down below, that will help you with that. Guys, if you were interested in any of the products down below, using one of those links is going to help the channel substantially. And it's going to allow me to give Taylor a big Christmas surprise. Taylor, our editor, I want to give her a big present. And to do that, I need your help. So hit those affiliate links down below. Join the first cohort. Join the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I know you'll get good value out of them. If you're interested, you can do that. Guys, let's go ahead and answer some more questions. Let's wrap the live stream out with some FAQ. If you guys have any questions, now is a great time to ask them. Jay Forrest asked, what kind of headset do you have? These are Corsair Void Pros. They should run around $99 at Best Buy. When I bought them, they were like $139. Excellent quality. They come with the Corsair Void Pro. Excuse me, not just the Corsair Void Pro. The Corsair interface in here, so you can go into EQ presets and change the different equalization presets. So right now I'm in movie theater, which is pretty cool. I normally use my speakers that are positioned right there and right there, but these are pretty nice also. If you guys are looking for headset, totally recommend these. Never had a single problem with them. They're wireless, long battery life, RGB. This mic sucks, but it's a headset mic. What do you expect? Corsair Void Pros. Maybe I'll get a link for those also, an affiliate link. John Doe said, hey Jeb, thanks for your videos. Keep on going. We are not stopping anytime soon. Can we see Taylor tune a live stream? Taylor, for the time being, has opted not to be on camera, and that wish is going to be respected for as long as it is, in fact, her wish. Do you ever feel we're in a cult, in a religion, or just insane? Excellent question. I think that all the time, and since I think about that a lot, I've come to the conclusion that Bitcoin is a big part of our lives, but it's not a big part of a lot of people's lives. And if we're going to see Bitcoin come to mass adoption, we need to give people a good reason for Bitcoin to be a major part of their lives, other than just, oh, it's a shiny new investment where you make a lot of money with. People hear that all the time. That's not going to convince them. We need to give them some kind of incentive to be in Bitcoin. And the way we do that is by continuing to grow the cryptocurrency space, by giving them more on-ramps through the institutions, by spreading awareness, by showing them what they're missing out on, by showing them the reasons why Bitcoin is important, by showing them the concept of hyperinflation and why Bitcoin counters that. Because quite frankly, guys, people don't make decisions because they're smart. People make decisions because they're convenient. So we need to make Bitcoin convenient for the masses and give them a reason to switch from cash. That is something that we've been working on for a long time. That is something that's going to take a lot more work, but it is something that I think you guys will agree is eventually going to happen. Les Hoy said TradingView is 60% off. Guys, yes, TradingView is currently 60% off. If you do want to get this VPVR indicator over here and have more indicators on your chart, I have I forgot which version it is. It's the cheapest version of the paid versions. It allows for 5 indicators per chart. It is really useful to have the paid version of TradingView. If you use the affiliate link for TradingView down below, you'll get 30 bucks. I'm not kidding. TradingView will give you 30 bucks if you use my affiliate link down there. And you will be able to get a discount on the... Actually, I don't know if you'll get a discount. I think they just give you the 30 bucks. I want to say there's a 10% discount in there. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get... well, I'm not pretty sure. I know you're going to get 30 bucks if you join with that affiliate link down there. And like Les Hoy said, there is a 60% off deal on TradingView. That is for a subscription. So if you want to go and do a year subscription, save a lot of money, use the coupon code down below. Use the affiliate link down below. You'll be giving us some help. At the same time, Ledger is also very much off. There's a Ledger link down there also. If you use the Ledger link down there, the affiliate link, you'll be helping to support the channel as well. Excuse me. Longboard Farama said, hi, Jeb. Guys, I would really be thankful if you use those links down there. I'm serious. Those are awesome. They cost you nothing, but they help to support the channel here. They allow us to continue making payroll and everything, keep the channel going. So if you're interested in any of the products down below, I recommend every single one of them, or there would not be a link in my description for them. Those products are fantastic. Those links down below will help you, and they will help me. So use those if you are interested in any of those. Those would be Binance, Coinbase, TradingView, and I'm missing one. Let me check the description. There's an affiliate link down there, and I forgot which one it is. It is Ledger, of course. If you guys need a hardware wallet, I use a Ledger. I'm not going to tell you where it is, in case you break into my house. But I have a Ledger, and I keep about half of my cryptocurrency on it. I highly recommend Ledger. Fantastic company. Use the link down there as well. They have a big discount going on right now, apparently. King K asked a great question. Jeb, in your face reveal video, you said you decided not to go to college, and it was not for you. What was your reason for deciding not to go to college? I'll tell you why. I hate school. I hate it. I hate being told what to do, first and foremost, which, yeah, that's something I'm getting over because you're going to be told what to do every once in a while. I like being my own boss. I like being the one calling the shots because, quite frankly, in my life, when other people call the shots for me, it ends up not working out very well for me. I'm not going to get into that, but I prefer to be the one that's in charge of my own life. That's why I like entrepreneurship and business and cryptocurrency, is that I get to call the shots in my life. My success is my problem, no one else's. That's one of the reasons I didn't go to college. I do have a Nano S RTC Manga. Yeah, I've had it for about 5 months now. I want to say something like that. About 5 months. Never really talked to you guys about it, but yeah, I have a Nano S, and I had a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, my cousin, buy 2 of them. Yes, guys, use a hardware wallet. Yes, please, use a hardware wallet. Your private keys are your Bitcoin, are your cryptocurrency. Ledger's a fantastic company. Those links down below help me if you use them. I'm going to be the first to say that. You need a Ledger Nano S, or even an X. An S is fine. They have fantastic products. It's a good Christmas gift if you know someone in the cryptocurrency space. No one can have too many ledgers. It's a good idea to diversify and have several of them across, maybe one in your bank. Being your own bank is top boss status. But yeah, like I was saying, I decided not to go to college because, quite frankly, it just wasn't for me. I thought the idea of all of these prerequisites was stupid. I remember I was sitting in the dual enrollment office, because I was a senior in high school, about 2.5 years ago in June of 2017. It was July of 2017. Yeah, no, it was August of 2017. And I'm not gonna say her name, but this person was helping me set up my classes, and they were like, okay, well, you're gonna have to take a humanities class at one point. And I was like, why? I want to go into astrophysics. Why do I need to take a humanities class? Why do I need to take a dance class? Why do I need to take a bunch of English classes? Prerequisites were one of the reasons. It was really stupid. That's why I don't do that in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. If you join the academy, watch whatever videos you think you want to. And Trezor question mark. Trezor works. I prefer Ledger. And that's not just because I have a Ledger affiliate link down there. I've had a Ledger for a long time. I like Ledger quite a bit more than Trezor. Their build quality is better. I think they have better support. It's a better product in my opinion. I have a Ledger link because I have a Ledger. I don't have a Ledger because I have a Ledger link. You know, it's the other way around. I recommend Ledger because I use Ledger. Anyway, guys, like I said, there's some really good discounts going on with Black Friday coming up on TradingView and all these different places. If you use the Coinbase link down below, you invest, I think it's $100, and they'll give you $10 worth of Bitcoin. Those links down below there help the channel out, and they help you out as well. So, guys, I am going to wrap the video up. I am going to wrap the live stream up. If you guys have any questions, now is the time to answer them before I sign off. And let me see what temperature it is outside. Yes, more than likely go on a motorcycle ride because I would love to do that. Went on a group ride with a friend of mine, actually with Taylor. If you guys don't know Taylor, well, I know you don't know because we've never talked about it on the channel. Taylor rides motorcycle also, so we went on a ride yesterday. It was really fun. It's important to add a passphrase to the seat as a second layer of security. Yep. Thanks for the live stream, Jeb. Appreciate it. Grab the course earlier. Looks great. We'll work through that, and then we'll jump onto the first cohort. Thank you so much, Blaster Jones. Welcome to the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. And if you need anything at all, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help. That's what I'm here for. Guys, both of those are great products. I highly recommend them. I've worked hard on them. If you guys are interested, the links are down below. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Let's go ahead and go full screen so I can say the outro. Oh my gosh. Guys, come on. You know what's about to happen. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.